From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, December the 30th, 2019. We open, of course, with the attack Saturday night at a Hanukkah celebration in Muncie, New York. Police arrested 37-year-old Grafton Thomas of Greenwood Lake, New York, who was accused of storming the home of Rabbi Chaim Rottenberg in the ultra-Orthodox Jewish community of Muncie, where over 100 people were gathered to celebrate the seventh night of Hanukkah, and stabbing at least 5 people with a machete, 2 of whom were critically injured and remain hospitalized. Thomas tried to get into the adjacent synagogue, which was locked, and then fled the scene in his car. One of the attendees at the party, Joseph Gluck, tried to fight off the attacker. He threw a table at him and then also managed to take down his license plate number, which helped police, who arrested Thomas a few hours later, charging him with 5 counts of attempted murder and reportedly also with federal hate crimes charges. This, according to ABC's Eyewitness News, who said police found anti-Semitic materials in several journals and on Thomas's phone. Thomas's family claims he has a long history of mental illness and did not have a history of anti-Semitism. Outrage and condemnation of the attack was heard from President Trump, who tweeted, "We must all come together to fight, confront, and eradicate the evil scourge of anti-Semitism." New York Governor Andrew Cuomo called the incident one of domestic terrorism. The Anti-Defamation League stressed that the Jewish community needs greater protection, noting that the cruel and hateful anti-Semitic stabbing in Muncie was at least the 10th incident targeting Jews since December the 8th. B'nai B'rith International's President Charles Kaufman and CEO Daniel Mariashin wrote the Jewish community should not be made to feel that what is now a near daily occurrence of violence is just some phase that will go away on its own. Apathy or disinterest are not acceptable in this climate of hatred. CEO of the American Jewish Committee, David Harris, called the recent incidents in the New York area a full-fledged epidemic. He also warned that anti-Semitism must never be seen as a uniquely Jewish phenomenon. It may begin, he said, with targeting Jews, but ultimately also seeks to destroy the pluralistic fabric of our democratic societies. The Conference of Presidents of major American Jewish organizations said all must work to end the incitement and join in clear condemnation of all who espouse hate. The leadership of the Congressional Caucus on Black-Jewish Relations co-chairs Brenda Lawrence, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Will Hurd, John Lewis, and Lee Zeldin, wrote, "We cannot tolerate these discriminatory, hateful, and cowardly acts. Every individual in this country deserves to feel safe and worship without fear. It is this commitment to diversity that has made the United States a beacon of hope and a place of sanctuary for people around the world." Israel's President Reuven Rivlin said the rise of anti-Semitism is not just a Jewish problem and certainly not just the state of Israel's problem. We must work together, he said, to confront this evil which is raising its head again and is a genuine threat around the world. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel strongly condemns the recent displays of anti-Semitism, including the vicious attack at the home of a rabbi in Muncie. And by the way, staying with Netanyahu, Israel's Channel 13 reported that the Prime Minister officially requested immunity from prosecution for the indictments against him, submitting a letter to Knesset Speaker Yuli Edelstein today. However, Edelstein denied that report, and there has been no confirmation of it. Police in Britain are investigating hateful graffiti with a Star of David and the numbers 9/11 painted on buildings on several streets in North London, including on a synagogue and store windows in Hampstead and Belsize Park yesterday morning. The 9/11 referring likely to a conspiracy theory that Jews were responsible for the deadly terror attacks in 2001. The Board of Jewish Deputies said this is a reminder that anti-Semitism is still with us. London police said they were investigating the vandalism as a racially motivated hate crime. Well, a young girl who lost her father in the deadly shooting earlier this month at the kosher supermarket in Jersey City added some light to the darkness in the wake of the Muncie attack. 11-year-old Amy Rodriguez's father, Miguel, was killed, saving a customer at the Jersey City supermarket. Rabbi and activist Avi Weiss attended Miguel's funeral and spoke to his wife and daughter, leaving them his phone number. Well, when Miguel's daughter, 11-year-old Amy, heard what happened in Muncie, she called Rabbi Weiss to make sure that he was okay. Weiss shared the story on Facebook yesterday, sharing how in the midst of her own grief, the young girl called to express concern not only for me, he wrote, but for the larger Jewish community. Weiss wrote, Amy's call was a beacon of light, bringing home the point that as much as our community is reeling with pain and horror, we are not alone. There is hope. And make sure to watch for more on the Muncie attack and the recent spate of anti-Semitic incidents in the New York area on JBS tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern. Mark Golub will be joined by Thane Rosenbaum, Betty Ehrenberg, David Afun, and Bishop Victor Brown for a special panel discussion. More programming for tonight on JBS for Monday, December 30th includes at 7 o'clock The Wisdom of Dr. Ruth. That's followed by former IDF spokesperson and current director of AJC Israel, Avital Leibovich, who talks about global political issues affecting the state of Israel. At 9 o'clock, it's the special panel discussion. And then coming up right after this newscast, it's In the News. And that's the JBS News Update for Monday, December the 30th, 2019. I'm Teisha Bader.